Tribalism. So, how does it happen? Now, to be fair, just a disclaimer first. I'm not saying like all levels of tribalism are bad. I think that like the sports community is kind of a great example of kind of a low level back and forth competition that's actually pretty healthy for people. But it feels like we have in the greater American society today like a kind of tribalism that's gone beyond that to the point where people can't even really cooperate with each other, and you walk down the street and you get into a shouting match. That's maybe a little bit hyperbole, but that I think actually does happen. And it feels like it's gone to an extreme level. So how does it happen? I think it has in large part to do with like maybe mass group dynamics. See, I think there are problems inherent in having such like a large community. So how do communities form? Let's start from there. Communities generally form over some sort of commonality, right? There's a commonality of purpose, a commonality of interest, right? There's some common goal that we're all striving for, that we can all understand and take interest in, and we all can participate in that. And so a community forms around it. Church people get together and talk about Christianity. Firemen get together and talk about putting out fires. Policemen get together and talk about policing stuff and doing police work together, right? That's generally how this type of stuff works. And it does feel like there's almost an optimal way to divide up these communities, right? Like an optimal number of people that you can have in one community and make it really work. So let's take a group of 100 people, right? I would tend to think of this as almost optimal, just because you know everyone within that group, right? You can have a relationship with everyone in that group. You can spend time with them, have a back and forth, and it's big enough that you can meet people who you wouldn't normally meet. I see this in my own church. There's a lot of people in my church who I disagree with on stuff, and who I would probably have never met or given the time of day to if I'd met them on the street. Like, I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm saying I just wouldn't have had any type of commonality with them. But because we're both Christians, we get to know each other, and that's healthy. Let's take that group, though, that group of 100 people, and move it to 200, 300, 400, 500, right? So now you're beyond the scope of people that you can personally know, right? I think the idea is that you can maintain relationships with about 100 people, and that's it. You can maintain like meaningful relationships with about 100 people. So now you're beyond the scope of people that you can like personally know. You can maybe be acquaintances with these people, but you don't really know them. Because the community is so large, well, people start to move around inside of it. They start to create their own cliques, tribes, and communities within the community. They see other people within this community, right? And maybe they feel like they're left behind by the community. They're the people that are falling through the cracks. They aren't participating really in the greater community. So they find these other people who they agree with, who they have this commonality with, and you get these tribes, like these segments of the community within it. I'm not saying it can't be good, but I think it has the potential to be really, really bad, this type of tribalism. In that, if there is, in actuality, or if you create some sort of perceived disparity between yourself and the rest of the community, it has a marked effect on your ability to feel empathy towards them, right? So the idea is, I'm nothing like this other person. I don't think like them. I would never do what they do. Therefore, if they get into a situation and something bad happens to them, I don't have to feel bad for them because I'm not like them. And it feels like that's kind of what we're witnessing today in American society. We have this extreme version of tribalism. And I'm not entirely sure how to fix it. If I had to say one thing that you could maybe do to try and help, stop telling people that other people are psychopathic demons that need to be put in prison. And I'm not saying it's never true, but it feels like a lot of the time it's just some sort of type of melodramatic sensationalism. Anyways. Alright, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you like it.